The prohibited method to awaken your inner vision and perceive the imperceptible. Are you on the verge of uncovering something that will irrevocably alter your perception of reality? This is not merely another spiritual secret. It is an old technique of such potency that it has been intentionally concealed for ages, saved exclusively for those deemed genuinely prepared. Your arrival at this juncture is not coincidental. There is an awakening within you that I can perceive. Are you prepared to uncover what has perpetually been awaiting revelation, the secret that few are willing to disclose? Do you recall the last instance you experienced an inexplicable cold, or that instant when you possessed knowledge without understanding its origin? You were not dreaming. You were touching the boundary that divides the two realms in which you concurrently exist. Two parallel realities exist, and you inhabit both, although being cognizant of just one. Since ancient times, specific individuals have served as custodians of this precious information. They learned to traverse these realms as effortlessly as one transitions between rooms in their residence. They were indistinguishable from you. They merely possessed the correct technique to activate this latent capability. The information I'm about to convey has been transmitted from masters to followers in hushed tones for millennia. What accounts for the multitude of secrets? This information resembles fire. It can illuminate your way or create destruction contingent upon its use. However, a transformation is occurring in our environment. I can perceive it, and I am certain you can as well. An awakening occurs within you. A profound aspect of your essence acknowledges a truth it has perpetually harbored. Do you sense the shiver in your neck, the feeling of being on the brink of recalling something significantly important? Heed that inner voice. She is attempting to convey a message to you. Prior to proceeding, I require you to undertake a specific task. Shut your eyes briefly and inhale deeply. Do you perceive the air inflating your lungs? Excellent. Contemplate whether you are genuinely prepared to perceive beyond the obscurity. Once you have mastered this technique, there will be no reverting. Your vision of reality will be irrevocably altered, the neglected endowment inherent in us all. Envision for a few period the possession of a third eye. I am not referring about anything magical or peculiar, but rather to a natural skill that is as inherent to you as your capacity to dream. Indeed, each night during your dreams, you subconsciously harness this ability. Have you ever contemplated how you can perceive, sense, and engage so vividly in your dreams without the involvement of your actual eyes? This gift is not something you must obtain. You already possess it. It resembles an unused muscle or a radio frequency that has not been tuned into. At that same time, it resides within you, awaiting your recollection of how to activate it. Consider an infant. Have you observed how he occasionally gazes to vacant areas while smiling? Or how very young toddlers frequently discuss matters that adults are unable to perceive? They do not envision. Rather, they instinctively utilize this capability that you also possess. Your brain processes significantly more information than you consciously recognize. Scientific research indicates that our awareness encompasses only a minor portion of what our senses detect. Do you recall the most recent occasion when you sensed another's attention upon you? You glanced around and indeed somebody was observing you. It was not just fortune, it was the manifestation of your inner vision. Each instance in which your intuition proved accurate, each occasion, you sensed an impending event prior to its occurrence, and each moment you contemplated someone just before they contacted you was not just coincidence. These were instances when your innate talent was triggered spontaneously, akin to a muscle contracting automatically. As you read this, I request that you engage in an exercise. Focus on the sensations experienced on your forehead, precisely between your eyebrows. Do you experience mild pressure? A faint tingling sensation? Some experience warmth, while others feel a subtle tingling sensation. Regardless of the sensation, the crucial aspect is to begin focusing your consciousness on the activation point of your inner vision. You are already establishing the foundation to revive this neglected talent, the three foundations of inner awakening. Envision constructing a residence, not only any domicile, but a conduit between two realms. What type of foundation is required? The ancient masters posed this very question, and after years of investigation, they identified three necessary core ingredients. They are so vital that the absence of any one of them results in total failure. I request that you give particular attention to each item. The initial pillar is intentional silence. However, I am not referring to the superficial silence achieved by deactivating the television. I refer to a profound quiet, the interval between your ideas where your actual strength dwells. Do you recall the moments preceding sleep when your mind attains tranquility? We must cultivate this form of stillness while remaining fully conscious and vigilant. The second pillar is hallowed respiration. You are now breathing involuntarily. What occurs when you consciously regulate your breathing? A wonderful occurrence transpires. Your body and mind start to align. The ancients recognized that specific breathing patterns function as keys to unlock perceptions. This is not a coincidence. In all ancient faiths, breath was seen as the conduit between the tangible and the intangible. Directed attention represents our third pillar and is arguably the most challenging to cultivate in a contemporary environment replete with distractions. Envision your focus as a laser beam. When dispersed, it provides minimal illumination. Yet when concentrated on a specific place, it can pierce steel. Your capacity for prolonged attention resembles a muscle that fortifies via training. When this pillar is combined with the preceding two, an astonishing phenomenon occurs. These three pillars operate interdependently. They bear a resemblance to the components of a traditional recipe. When combined in appropriate amounts and at the optimal timing, they generate a synergy that activates a previously dormant aspect within you. Each one functions as a distinct key, necessitating all three to unlock the final door. The establishment of the personal sanctuary. Prior to disclosing the exact strategies, it is imperative to address the matter of preparation. Many erroneously believe that they must construct an elaborate physical environment, complete with candles, incense, and esoteric symbols. Undoubtedly, these components might contribute to an ambiance, although the paramount preparation occurs in a more personal realm: your thoughts. Perceive your mind as a garden. For years, you have permitted it to flourish untamed, enabling a myriad of thoughts and feelings to proliferate unrestrained. It is time to cultivate awareness in your mental environment. It is unnecessary to remove all the weeds simultaneously. Only establish a small cleared perimeter to commence your task. The establishment of the personal temple commences with a straightforward yet potent ritual: the deliberate choice. Each time you choose to practice, you affirm a precious moment in your day. This can be accomplished in your room in a serene park, or even at the office during the lunch interval. The geographical location is of minimal significance. What truly matters is the intention and dedication you invest in it. The temperature, illumination, and surrounding sounds influence the situation, however, not as one might think. Optimal conditions are not requisite. Indeed, adapting to one's environment is integral to the training process. Is there congestion outside? Excellent. You will cultivate the ability to transform distractions into a pathway toward heightened awareness. The key factor in cultivating your personal sanctuary is consistency. 10 minutes of daily practice under suboptimal conditions is preferable to an hour of practice in excellent circumstances. Your mind acquires knowledge by repetition, and each time you replicate that significant moment, however momentarily, you reinforce the roots of your practice. The ritual of the 7 breaths represents the most tangible and transforming aspect of this journey. It is not merely a basic breathing technique. Rather, it serves as a master key that unlocks levels of consciousness you may not have realized were present. What is the significance of 7? This number is significant since it relates to the 7 levels of depth we must navigate to attain enlarged vision. The initial inhalation resembles the act of unsealing a window in a room that has remained shuttered for years. As you breathe in, envision infusing your body with golden light. There is no necessity to visually perceive it, merely harbor the intention. As you exhale, perceive the tension dissipating from your body as to dust swept away by the wind. The initial inhalation establishes the ambiance for the complete ceremony. Upon the second and third inhalation, you will start to discern something unusual. Time appears to decelerate. It is customary. You are beginning to depart from the frenetic tempo of your typical consciousness. Each breath must be progressively deeper, as though you are not merely filling your lungs, but saturating every cell in your body. During exhalation, allow your eyelids to become heavy, while maintaining mental alertness. The fourth and fifth breaths are paramount. At this moment, some individuals frequently encounter their initial manifestation of inner vision, characterized by a tingling sensation in the center of the forehead or the feeling of cranial expansion. Others depict soft hues or radiant designs, even with their eyes shut. Do not adhere to these experiences. Examine them with interest, yet maintain your focus on your respiration. The final two breaths represent the ultimate transition. At this juncture, your mind is enveloped in profound tranquility while maintaining alertness. It resembles the state of impending slumber while maintaining complete consciousness. This is the locus where the boundary between realms diminishes. The key is to sustain this condition without exerting any pressure. Inner vision resembles a feral creature. It cannot be pursued. It must approach you autonomously. The unconscious aspect of awareness. Have you ever seen that peculiar interval immediately prior to slumber when you exist in a state that is neither totally conscious nor entirely asleep? This transitional area serves as an indication of what the ancients referred to as the blind spot of consciousness. It is a cognitive condition that we all encounter daily, however, never recognize and even less frequently utilize. Envision your mind as an incessant stream of thoughts. The blind spot is a quiet vortex within this flow, a location where the current temporarily subsides. It is not a void in the sense of non-existence, but rather a gateway, a suspension of conventional reality whereby the extraordinary may manifest. The discussion around the blind spot is intriguing. Similar to the blind spot in one's physical vision, we all possess a mental blind spot of which we are unaware. It is akin to attempting to perceive one's own eyes without the use of a mirror. It exists, is utilized frequently, yet cannot be observed immediately. The distinction lies in the fact that through appropriate practice, one can learn to identify and deliberately occupy this place. To identify your blind spot, it is essential to cultivate a novel type of attention. It does not pertain to concentration in the conventional sense. The more you pursue it, the more it evades you. It resembles acquiring the ability to perceive through one's mental peripheral vision. Commence by monitoring your thoughts without forming attachments to them. You will ultimately perceive minute intervals between them. These intervals represent your initial awareness of the blind spot. The most astonishing aspect is the outcome of extending these fleeting seconds. Time appears to elongate, and space becomes increasingly malleable. The perceptions that lingered in the recesses of your consciousness now ascend to prominence. Information that is perpetually available, although typically rendered inaccessible by your filtering cognition, becomes attainable. This marks the authentic inception of inner vision. The oscillation of cerebral waves. Have you ever seen the fluctuations in your mental state during the day? It is an instinctive dance. At times you exhibit heightened alertness. At other instances, you have a more relaxed demeanor, and there are moments when you oscillate between awareness and slumber. There is nothing arbitrary about it. These represent distinct patterns of cognitive activity, like to a radio station transitioning between frequencies. Envision your mind as an ocean, with these moods representing currents operating at different depths. At the surface where the waves are most turbulent resides your typical waking state. This is clearly the condition you currently occupy. It is vital for daily existence. To reach your inner vision, you must delve deeper. Upon descending under this tumultuous surface, one enters tranquil, more responsive states. It resembles swimming in deeper waters. Here the enchantment commences. You may have encountered it without awareness. Instances of acute lucidity immediately preceding sleep or abrupt insights encountered during a tranquil stroll. The most exhilarating aspect is the ability to consciously maneuver between various moods. It is not about coercion, but rather about mastering the fluctuations of your own mind. Begin by identifying the instances when you are inherently more amenable. Is it morning yet? During twilight. These represent your inherent portals, the instances when the barrier between realms diminishes. It is important to note that these states are not only degrees of relaxation, they correlate to distinct frequencies of perception, each possessing its unique texture and hue. Through practice, you will acquire the ability to discern these nuances and to transition voluntarily between states, much to a musician shifting from one note to another, the Sentinels of the threshold. You are now approaching a pivotal phase of your trip, characterized by the challenges you will undoubtedly face. Do not fear their emergence. Conversely, you ought to be concerned if they fail to appear, as their absence would signify insufficient growth on your part. These guardians are not adversaries, but rather concealed mentors, each possessing a vital lesson to impart to you. The initial guardian you will face is the most prevalent and potentially the most misleading. The uncertainty, not a superficial skepticism about the efficacy of this exercise, but a profound uncertainty embedded at the essence of your existence. You will start to interrogate not only your methodology, but also your own understanding of reality. It is a typical phase. You are dismantling years of indoctrination around what is feasible and what is not. The second sentinel is dread, not a conventional fear in response to a particular threat, but a more nuanced, profound sensation. The apprehension of relinquishing your existing perception of reality. Upon initiating the exploration of expanded states of consciousness, a portion of your being may exhibit resistance. It resembles standing at the brink of a profound pool. Although you possess the ability to swim, an internal hesitation precedes your decision to go in. This resistance is inherent and essential. She equips you to manage the forthcoming experiences. The subsequent entity is the custodian of impatience. In our era of immediate satisfaction, it can be the most challenging. You will desire prompt outcomes and concrete evidence of your advancement. Nonetheless, inner vision resembles a garden. It is not possible to accelerate the growth of plants by pulling on them. Impatience serves as an invitation to cultivate an alternative connection with time. The most nuanced and likely the most significant protector is the spiritual ego. As you encounter atypical situations or your awareness broadens, you may perceive yourself as exceptional. This guardian imparts the significance of humility and wisdom. Profound experiences frequently emerge when we abandon the desire to be the one who perceives beyond. These protectors never entirely vanish. They become allies. Uncertainty transforms into astute judgment. Fear evolves into reverence for the unfamiliar. Impatience evolves into gratitude for the trip, and spiritual arrogance transforms into genuine humility. Each time you face opposition, recall, you are not encountering a hindrance, but experiencing a rite of passage, the instant of realization. All practitioners experience a transcendent moment, each articulating it uniquely. Some refer to it as the click, while others characterize it as a quantum leap. Yet language fails to adequately convey its essence. It is like to elucidating the flavor of water to someone who has never consumed it. However, when it occurs, you are unequivocally aware of it. The indicative indicators frequently manifest softly. You may observe that colors appear more vibrant, that notable coincidences increase or perhaps awaken with the sensation of having journeyed to locations that your rational mind cannot elucidate. These resemble the initial droplets of precipitation preceding the tempest. Indicators suggest that a significant transformation is imminent, poised to modify your perception. The experience can be as subtle as a breath or as abrupt as a moment of clarity. For some, it resembles the removal of an imperceptible blindfold from their vision. Suddenly, the world appears entirely transformed, despite the absence of any physical alterations. For some, it is a slow expansion that becomes apparent only in retrospect, like to recognizing sunshine without having witnessed the precise moment of dawn. This enlightenment transpires in layers. Just when you believe you have attained the pinnacle of the experience, you uncover another tier of intensity awaiting you. It is like to opening a door only to discover it leads to a chamber replete with further doors. Every awakening is more profound than the last, and each comprehension is increasingly fundamental. This is the paramount caution. That moment cannot be compelled. It resembles the experience of falling in love. The greater your attempts to exert control, the more it eludes your grasp. Your objective is not to induce the outcome, but to establish the appropriate conditions and remain fully engaged when it occurs. The paradox is in the fact that it frequently occurs precisely when one ceases to seek it at the moment of complete relinquishment, traversing the profound depths. Upon the awakening of your inner vision, you venture into a realm that few individuals willingly traverse. It resembles obtaining a new pair of eyes that can perceive realms previously unseen. This gift entails a responsibility, acquiring the ability to traverse these profound depths with sagacity and judgment. Your concept of time will initially alter. Certain moments appear to strangely elongate or diminish. You may encounter moments of insight that distill years of knowledge into an instant, or perceive events prior to their occurrence in chronological order. Do not be apprehensive. It is like to acquiring the skill of swimming. Initially, the water may appear disconcerting, although with experience, you navigate through it effortlessly. Synchronicities will occur with such frequency that they can no longer be disregarded or dismissed as ordinary coincidences. The universe appears to convey messages through symbols and significant correspondences. You will interpret them not as fixed prophecies, but as indicators of the opportunities that lie ahead. It will remain crucial to sustain the equilibrium between assured transparency and precise discernment. One of the most nuanced experiences will be to differentiate among various forms of extended perspectives. Similar to how your physical sight discerns a genuine tree from its reflection in water, your inner perception will enable you to differentiate among numerous strata of reality. Certain visions resemble dreams being symbolic and individualized. Others represent glimpses of potential futures or profound insights into the essence of reality. The essential strategy for traversing these profound depths is to cultivate what the ancients referred to as the anchor. It is not about a static reference point to grasp, but rather an unyielding assurance in your capacity to sustain equilibrium regardless of the unfamiliar terrain. This ink is created via persistent practice, meticulous observation, and most importantly, unwavering sincerity towards oneself, the reintegration and return. We now examine the facet of the voyage that may appear the least exhilarating yet is in fact the most essential. How can one integrate these exceptional abilities into daily life? What is the use of accessing extended states of consciousness if they cannot be applied to everyday activities such as shopping, professional responsibilities, or interactions with loved ones? Integration commences with a seemingly trivial challenge, maintaining a presence in both realms. Envision yourself as a translator, traversing the distinct realms of commonplace experience and heightened awareness. Initially, you may perceive yourself as an outsider in your own existence, observing aspects of reality that have previously escaped your attention. It resembles revisiting an old film, yet this time with subtitles uncovering a novel significance underlying the well-known narrative. One of the crucial elements is to maintain what I refer to as the navigator's record. A formal notebook is not essential. A few notes on your phone may suffice. It is crucial to record your experiences and particularly their effects on your daily life. For instance, the premonition that prompted you to alter your route so circumventing a traffic congestion, or the intuition that compelled you to contact a friend just when they required conversation the most. These fleeting instances serve as indicators on a cartographic representation. Interconnected, they disclose broader patterns. At this juncture, one is frequently inclined to provide all information to all individuals. It is inherent. Upon discovering something extraordinary, one desires for others to share in the experience. However, this is where the sagacity of discernment is applicable. Not everyone is prepared or inclined towards this type of encounter, and that is just acceptable. True mastery entails not merely discussing these new perspectives, but employing them to enhance effectiveness, compassion, and presence in everyday life. Integration also entails acquiring the ability to regulate energy in a novel manner. You will observe an increased sensitivity to environments, others, and circumstances as though the intensity of your sensitivity has been amplified. You will inherently uncover novel methods for self-regulation, allocate additional time for solitude, engage with nature, or develop new rituals to maintain equilibrium. Pay close attention to these requirements. They constitute an integral aspect of your novel existence in the world. The most recent paradox is splendid. The greater the integration of these exceptional experiences into your daily existence, the more they appear to be commonplace. Not that they diminish in enchantment, but rather that your conception of normality broadens to encompass them. The internal perception thereafter becomes as routine as your physical sight. The distinction between the spiritual and the quotidian has vanished. All elements coalesce into an incessant ballet of revelations and marvels. Herein is the ultimate secret. Integration is perpetual. Every day presents fresh opportunity to enhance your comprehension, sharpen your insight, and use this knowledge in distinctive and innovative manners. It is not a goal but an enduring journey. Maintaining the spark of interest and amazement that has led you here will become every ordinary moment a potential gateway to the extraordinary. The authentic trip is merely commencing. You have initiated your journey by uncovering this ancient method. The route that lies ahead is boundless and offers innumerable choices. Every individual who has traversed this route has discovered their unique method to investigate these unexplored realms of mind. If this content has motivated you, envision everything that remains for us to explore collectively. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to ensure you do not overlook any videos. We will persist in revealing the mysteries of the universe and learning to implement them in our daily existence. We will see you shortly in the forthcoming video.